Greetings everyone. In today's first course of the second semester, we're going to tackle today's lesson, revolving over morphology in a general way, thus exploring some of its most important aspects and explanation. So let's get started. So, first of all, what is morphology? Morphology is the study of how words are formed and what they mean. So basically, we're searching for how they are made and their sense in their transformation. Since morpho, which is transformation, and logy is a science, so the science of transformation. Thus, let's get on the second point. We've got types of morphology. Morphology is divided in two different categories in which we're gonna be seeing. So for the first one, we've got the inflection morphology. So in this one, it is the creation of new words through suffixes that change the form of a word alone and not its class. So, for example, we've got the case with the past tense with the ed. So, for example, work. He worked for that big company. So, the use of the past tense that ends with the ed also relates to the inflection. Also, we've got another case with superlative. So, for example, we've got strong, the the adjective strong. He is the strongest man in the world. So, we've got the use of the est suffix at the end, which proves which category it is from. And also, we've got another class with the plurals. So, for example, we've got wolf. There is a pack of wolves living in that forest. So, we've got, beside all of these three examples, there's also several other cases which involves inflection. But since we're just viewing in a general point of view, we're just gonna be stopping at these few ones. So for the inflection, we're done with. Then for the second type, we've got the derivation morphology. So it refers to the creation of a new word from an existing one by adding affixes to the root. So for example, we've got the transformation from an adjective to noun. So, for example, we've got hate, which turns automatically into hateful from adjective to noun. Also, we've got other examples like from joy to joyful, and so it goes. Another case, we've got also the transformation from adjective to verb. So, we've got weak, which turns into weaken. Then we've got also another similar one, which is from a verb to an adjective. So from this very example, we've got drink turn into drinkable. And also for another one, we've got the transformation from a verb to a noun. So for now, we've got fight turning into fighter. Also, we've got run going into runner. And there's also several other cases for the derivation, but we're just gonna be stopping at these for now. So, we've seen the types of morphology existing. Now we're gonna be moving to our other aspects. So, for the third point, we've got morphemes, the building blocks. So, morphemes in general are the smallest unit of meaning in a word. Then, there are two types of morphemes, which are the roots and affixes. So we're gonna be seeing these two for now in a general way. First of all, the roots are the main part of a word that carries its core meaning, like play and playground. Also, we've got another example like in over with overboard, overkill, and also another case with pain that goes into painstaking and such. So this is the small example about roots. So we're maintaining the same words, then adding another affixes, which turns this into a new word. Then the definition of affixes. They are smaller units added to roots to change their meaning or function, like the un in un and unhappy. Also, we've got other examples beside this one, like phased to unfazed, fortunate to unfortunate, and so it goes. So there's the small use of affixes which can turn into newer brand meaning to sad words. Then we're gonna be seeing the type of affixes which are the following. So for the first case, we've got the prefixes. So prefixes are affixes that come at the beginning of a word before a root word. Sometimes they are added to a word to change its meaning. Other times they combine with others. So affixes to create new words such as adding to prefix like bio to the affix ology to create biology. Or, for example, we've got Selene with the affix ology, and thus it turns into selenology, which also refers to the study of the moon, biology, which refers to the study of life, of nature, and such. So there are several cases which involves the use of prefixes in such ways. Then we've got another one, we've got the suffixes. They are affixes that come at the end of a word, after the root word, of course. Unlike prefixes, which mostly change a word's meaning. So, suffixes are mainly used for grammar purposes such as conjugation. For example, work, worked. So the similar case like we did earlier with the other types of affixes, like the inflection. And thus, we've got other similar situations. So we've got plurality with fox going into foxes, dogs going and so it goes. Other ones like possession, like for this one, Juliana's. So instead of just using it is Juliana's, we're just gonna use the S, which reflects it. Then we've got also reflexive pronouns like them, themselves. Also, we've got comparatives and superlative like fast, faster, fastest, strong, stronger, strongest, slow, slower, slowest, and so it goes. And our final one, we've got changing word class, like we've seen earlier with the derivation. So from swim, go into swimmer. The same case, so it's the same case like we've seen earlier. So that's pretty much sums up these few points. Then we're gonna be moving to another one, which is the infixes. Infixes are a special type of affix that come in the middle of a word. However, the English language doesn't use infixes. Infixes are more common in other languages, including Greek and Australian. So thus, this kind is utterly useless to us. But at the end, we still need to know it since it's part of our course. So we're just gonna be moving on with it, but still, it's good to know what it is. Then we're gonna be moving to our final point, which revolves over the circumfixes. So for this one, they are pairs of prefixes and suffixes always used together. Circumfixes in English are very rare, but the circumfix of en and en seen in the common word enlighten, which refers to being informed, and the circumfix of em and en is seen is embolden, which refers to support, to give courage to someone. So for the infixes, there's absolutely no need for it in English, but circumfixes are extremely rare as well, but still they're seen very small usage. So still we're just gonna be having them as a support to our course in order to know them. That's it. Other than that, we're moving to the types of morphemes, which is just a small point in order to refer them. So for the first one, we've got free morphemes. These can stand alone as words, like for example, cat or run, basically. Then we've got the second type, which is bound morphemes. These must be attached to other morphemes, like prefixes, like the un, suffixes, for example, the eng, or the infixes. That's how it goes. So you can pretty much just remember to use them when we're pretty much using a negative adjective, like for example, happy, unhappy, or like for some adjectives like transforming or addicting and and so it goes. So these are just small tips in order to remember them. And finally, we're moving to the conclusion. So, morphology helps us understand how words are formed and how their meaning can change. By exploring the building blocks of language, we can better appreciate the richness and complexity of words. And thus, with that, we've concluded our course about morphology and its various aspects, from types to morphemes to to other types of it, and some other brand new meaning and discoveries of new keywords. And with that, I thank you for the assistance and see you in the next course.